Iran has promised total war against both America and Israel, and they're not bluffing. Welcome to a new episode. I'm Robert, speaking to you live from my office with a new topic and a new episode. Today, we dive into the latest Middle East updates and explore the potential scenarios unfolding over the next 72 hours. Stay with me. America's largest naval armada in years is racing toward Iran right now, and what's unfolding could change everything because Trump just issued his final ultimatum: make a deal immediately or face total destruction. But to understand this crisis, we need to go back to late December when Iran's economy collapsed and massive protests erupted across the country, leading to a brutal government crackdown with up to 12,000 protesters killed in just 2 nights, the worst violence since 1979, which then caused a complete internet blackout for 3 weeks, cutting off 90 million Iranians from the world while the regime crushed dissent. And during this, Trump deployed the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Group with F-15 fighters and destroyers, promising help to protesters. And what makes this different is Trump already bombed Iran once in June's Operation Midnight Hammer, hitting 3 nuclear facilities, so these aren't empty threats. And now he's warning the next attack will be far worse, making June look like nothing in comparison. And Iran knows he's serious because Tehran unveiled a billboard showing a destroyed American carrier dripping blood-red stripes with a clear message of defiance. Yet despite this, over 5,000 American troops are positioned within striking distance, with massive firepower ready to act with speed and violence. So naturally, the question becomes, what does Trump actually want? Complete nuclear disarmament and total missile elimination with zero compromise. But on the other side, Iran's foreign minister announced their forces are ready, fingers on triggers, prepared to respond to any aggression whatsoever, which brings us to impossible red lines both sides have drawn. No executions and no nukes versus missiles are non-negotiable and never recognizing Israel. So what happens next? Scenario 1 involves limited strikes on military targets. Both sides retaliate, then de-escalate, claiming victory. However, there's also Scenario 2 where Trump destroys Iran's oil infrastructure at Karg Island, choking their revenue without triggering full-scale war. But the most dangerous option is Scenario 3, where Trump tries weapons or cyber attacks, possibly even targeting Khamenei himself. And if that happens, Iran has promised total war against both America and Israel, and they're not bluffing because they control approximately 2,000 ballistic missiles, all fueled and ready to launch within minutes at targets across the entire Middle East. And to make things worse, Hezbollah, Houthis, and Iraqi militias are mobilizing, warning they'll attack U.S. and Israeli targets if war breaks out. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia and UAE are terrified because they host American bases but fear becoming Iranian targets in any conflict, which complicates things since Trump demands Iran give up nukes he claims he already destroyed last June. So which is it? And intelligence sources say Iran still has enriched uranium hidden somewhere in secret facilities, but nobody knows the exact locations, which is terrifying because it means there might still be a diplomatic path, since Trump says Iran called numerous times wanting to negotiate a deal, except Iran insists they won't talk under military threats, and there's zero trust between both sides after June's bombing. So while diplomacy seems possible, inside Iran the protests are paused but not over. Thousands imprisoned, torture reports emerging, and the people's anger still boiling. Plus, the economy is collapsing with worthless currency, crushing inflation, and energy crises everywhere. Yet the regime survived, and they're now interpreting their survival as proof they can take bigger risks. But experts warn the real danger isn't deliberate war, it's actually calculation, where one mistake a rogue commander causes everything to spiral out of control. And Trump's strategy of mixing threats with offers, while showing massive force, is designed to keep Iran guessing. But it's an incredibly dangerous game to play, especially because Trump ordered naval blockade preparations by Friday, January 30th, less than 48 hours from now. And a blockade actually means inspecting every vessel, stopping all oil exports, which is legally considered an act of war. And Iran could respond by oil prices would double overnight, causing a global crisis. Airlines are canceling flights, insurance costs skyrocketing, affecting everyone. While international, Russia and China watch closely, with Russia refusing new sanctions and China buying Iranian oil despite threats. So this isn't just bilateral anymore. And Israel, who bombed Iran in June, is coordinating with Trump, though some Israeli officials question whether another war is wise now, because Supreme Leader Khamenei is reportedly hiding in an underground bunker, knowing the regime is weaker than ever. And the question is, does Trump see this vulnerability? Washington believes one more push could topple the regime, that Iranians are ready to revolt. But that's what they thought about Iraq in 2003. And the nightmare scenario is US strikes, harsh Iranian retaliation, Israel joining, Hezbollah launching missiles, and suddenly the entire Middle East explodes, with analysts estimating tens of thousands dead in the first week alone. And unlike precision strikes, this means cities under fire with trapped civilians. But there's another possibility that both sides are bluffing, using maximum pressure to negotiate from strength, similar to Trump's Venezuela approach, where massive pressure led to negotiated outcomes without war. So maybe Iran actually wants sanctions relief, economic help, international recognition, and system survival, while America demands zero nukes, no missiles, exit from proxy networks, no Hamas or Hezbollah support, basically complete strategic transformation. And clearly, these positions are miles apart, with Iran viewing missiles as defense while America calls them terrorism. So how do you bridge this one? The next 72 hours are critical for whether Iran's leaders call, whether the Armada moves closer, and whether anyone blinks first, because ultimately, everything depends on two men. Trump, who believes in pressure and unpredictability and survived every president since 1989. But the wild card is the Iranian people, because if protests restart, all calculations change, with the regime potentially collapsing or cracking down harder. And according to Middle East experts, there's a 40 to 60% chance of military action within 2 weeks, terrifyingly high probability. And we're witnessing a historic moment where Iran's Islamic Republic faces its greatest crisis ever, while America rewrites its entire Middle East strategy. So will this end in war or diplomacy, destruction or deals? Nobody knows for certain. Not analysts, generals, maybe not even the leaders themselves. But the decisions made in these next critical days will shape the Middle East for decades, and the consequence will affect the entire world. Because the Armada is positioned, the threats are real, diplomatic channels remain fragile, and time is running out fast. We're witnessing massive military pressure, Iran defiance, nuclear tensions, regional war risks, only 72 hours to prevent total catastrophe. And this story evolves daily. Subscribe now for updates, hit the bell, support the channel, and thank you for watching this critical analysis.